Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Barry Chappell coming to you live from Hollywood, California. Here with the Barry Chappell Fine Art Show Wednesday night. And we're on DirecTV tonight. And this is going to be our last show on DirecTV until September. We're taking a summer hiatus. I'll explain it as we go along. But we got a cool Novaro glass show. Ooh, it's unbelievable. I also have some amazing Thomas Kincaids. Now, Wilson, you should know this. I'm going to give you a question. This is not a trick question. You should get this, Wilson. What city is known as the City of Lights?
Paris.
You got it, Paris. Which painter is known as a painter of light? Thomas Kincade. He was one of the most stunning painters ever. In the 1990s, by the late 1990s, it was an all-out war trying to get his work of art. He was unbelievable. I'll show you some comps in a little bit where original paintings were 300,000 and 400,000, where signed and numbered special edition prints were 25,000. I have 4 Thomas Kincaids. He unfortunately died of a heart attack in, I think, April 6, 2012, and unbelievable talent. I also have, look at my table of unbelievable Novaros. These came from Novaro's first American publisher, and some of these I haven't seen, like there is a blue dancing bubble. I had the pleasure of naming that with Jean-Claude Novaro. He was explaining it in French to a translator, and he kept saying bubbles and how they look at the movement. And I said, it's like they're dancing. He goes, yes, just name it. And I said, all right, dancing bubbles. And he made that at 2,300 degrees. Unfortunately, Jean-Claude Novaro also died of a heart attack. He died December 30th, 2014. And most of the collection is tied up. There was, I think it still is, in probate. But I got these from his first American publisher. They're stunning. Some of these have dates so early. I'm going, my God, there's one from 1990. And I got the amazing work of Gregory Wilhelmi. I got a lot of great art tonight. Tell you where I'm going to start right now. Now, Patty, when you go swimming, do you just put a toe in the water or do you just run and jump in? You just put a toe in? You're like my dog Ginger. You're a chicken. Do you run and jump in or yeah, I do too. Because look, you're either going to make it or you're not, you know? And what is your fear though? Let me ask you this. Are you scared if you're at the ocean and you put your toe in, a shark might bite it?
Bacteria in the ocean.
Oh, bacteria. That's a good point, actually. Well, I want to show you, this is where one of the most, don't hit that other table, Chappell. I got it. One of the most famous individuals on the planet lives. Do you know one of the most famous individuals ever? Who?
Burt Reynolds.
Not Burt Reynolds. No, he was famous. No. Santa Claus. This is where Santa Claus lives. And I know, but there's a big difference between Burt Reynolds and Santa Claus. This is 3132. This is the real deal. This is Thomas Kincade right there. You'll see, we'll put up the St. Nicholas Circle by Thomas Kincade. Print number 952 of 1,750, signed and numbered on paper. Now, one thing Thomas Kincade, that he was so ahead of his time, you see the signature by Thomas Kincade right over there, Wilson? You can prove that he really signed that. You know how? Thomas Kincaid mixed a drop, just a tiny fragment of his blood. His DNA is in that signature. Yeah. So unless somehow no one took any of your blood for any reasons around 1995, no, I'm joking. This is amazing. Now I want to show you the price of Thomas Kincaid's, and literally I have not had many lately, and but a long time ago, it makes me think about a host that I used to work with and unfortunately passed away because of COVID, Art Garabedian. And Art Garabedian, he had a sidekick, Rex Bernard, and I would be doing shows at DSN, and they would always yell before I came up, Barry's got Tommy K tonight, because they wouldn't even call him Thomas Kincaid. They'd call him Tommy K. We'd have the lines of this small network jammed up. I mean, at one point, there's only like 7 operators. There was a 17-minute wait. And it's like, I'm talking as fast as I can. Now, here's an example. This is called debossed lithograph, which this one, they want $5,000, and that was in 2009. And here is a great example. Disney's 50th anniversary, done by Thomas Kincaid. There was probably, it's a reproduction, it's not an original, and I printed this in 2009, and they want $3,995. Like, this is a great example, because this one is beautiful. Studio proof, Thomas Kincaid, special offer. It's still beautiful, and they want just under $3,700. This is custom framed. It comes with all the bells and whistles, and what I want to do without ripping the baggie. You rip a lot of baggies, don't you, Patty? I'm joking, but all right. I think I can do this. I think I can. Here is what you get. Certificate of limitations and authenticity. And it shows you the number, the edition size, everything by Thomas Kincaid. Statement of edition, Light Post Publishing, everything. And that will come with it for edition number 952 of 1750. And folks, please don't be cheap on this one. You know why, Patty? Why? That's where Santa Claus lives. Now, I'm only speculating, Wilson. I do not know this for sure. All right? But if you are cheap on a painting that depicts where Santa Claus lives, Santa Claus might become cheap with you this year. Is it possible, Patty?
Possible.
Have you ever met Santa Claus?
When I was younger, I did.
What's that?
When I was younger, I did.
Yeah. Just asking. Have you ever met Santa Claus? Really? Yeah. What about you? Oh, no. You would have punched Santa Claus. I'm not talking to her. She would have punched him. Yes. Juliet goes, Santa, get away. Get away. No. What's that?
After not receiving my gifts.
All right. Well, and there's where he numbered it. There's where Thomas Kincaid signed it. And there is actually, his DNA is in that signature. And I'll tell you what, I think the retail on this one, because, and I don't want to look like a gangster, Wilson, but my other glasses broke and all I got are my sunglasses. Edition of, 1750. Thomas Kincaid frame, everything. DNA in the ink. This is probably about $4,500 is what they probably want for it, and it is just beautiful. And this is where Santa lives. Yeah, I'll tell you what. That's what it retails for, $4,500. I'll tell you what I am going to do. Oh, I'm going to give you guys a deal. Are you ready for this? This is where Santa lives. Don't be cheap with Santa Claus. Were you ever cheap with Santa Claus, Wilson? Neither was I. Yeah, even as a little kid, I'd probably go, I'm not going to be cheap with Santa Claus. Because he knows when you're good, when you're bad. And But anyway, tell you what, this is so cheap. I hope you're out there. $500 to open, $100 increments. This is where Santa Claus lives. Santa Claus Circle. That's too cheap. That is too cheap. What am I doing? Why did I do that, Wilson? Why did you let me do that? $500 to open, $100 increments. That is beautiful. Offset lithograph. Thomas Kincaid's DNA is in the ink where he signed his name. That's too cheap. I went for an easy, quick sale, Wilson. You shouldn't do that. Yes. Oh, I got some great Novaros. This man, before he died, Thomas Kincaid, was to the 90s what Norman Rockwell was to the 50s, 60s, 40s, 50s, 60s, even the 30s. And when you look at that, Matt, is that beautiful? That's too cheap anyway, so I'm going to run with that. I'm going to take that and... Now, Matt, I just don't want to scare you, all right? Because I've been known to scare people, and I don't mean to create any fear in you. But you know what would happen if you lifted to take that off and fell backwards into this Novaro table and they all shattered? That's my fear right now of me, not you, Matt. Hey, Matt's got it all centered up. No open once. It's all right. It's all right. They're going, I want to see the other Thomas Kincaids. Well, I'm going to show you one right here. Now, baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. Now I got myself paranoid. I'm going to... No, you don't. No, I don't want anybody... Patty's got a bad arm. Back. Oh, there we go. Now, oh, look at that. A car and horses. You know, I can deduct from this, Juliet. You see that car? You see that horses? That car has 4 horsepower. Very weak car. Okay. And no, you all don't have to laugh at once. Savior. No, there's 1, 2, 3 horses and an automobile. Or as they say in that one movie, automobile. But I'm not going to do that because I do it every time. And I think Wilson gets mad at me. I drive into where this studio is located. From the movie 1941, Hollywood. And I do that loud in my car, and I think people can hear me. All right. This is a lot lower. This is a far rarer edition. This is called Christmas Memories. This is print number 7 of only 195 of the printer's proof edition. So there's only 195 of this, and this is number 7. And when you start talking about more rarer editions, yeah, he died at 54 years old. But, I mean, look at this, just to give you an idea what his originals are worth. Look at this. Traveler's Rest. Big Lake Country, Thomas Kincaid, $100,000. This is a great example. Rare Thomas Kincaid, Hometown Morning, $11,950. But this is a signed and numbered piece right here. And look at these prices. Yeah, it'd be like this one right here. Thomas Kincaid, Hyde Street. Limited edition printer's proof. Mine's a limited edition printer's proof. Just like this Hyde Street that they want $5,050 for. This is limited edition printer's proof. All right. Matt, I'm going to leave it up to you. Matt, using all the knowledge at your command, all the wisdom you could muster up, where would you start an auction for this piece at? I just want to get some people bidding, but where would you start, Matt? He's thinking, right? Patty, where would you start? I'm asking Matt, but this there's only 195 of. This is rare. This is the beef tartare of Thomas Kincaid. You ever have beef tartare? Once? It's really good, isn't it? I like raw meat. That's what beef tartare is. They're too lazy to cook it and they charge you a fortune. I used to eat it after school every day. I just eat rare hamburger and I put accent on it. But that's because I had delinquent parents. No, I didn't. My mom's watching. Hi, Mom. I got to talk about her because that exorcism, when I exorcised her dog, Darby, it's gone. Darby jumped the dog. The demon left Darby and jumped into my mom. And I thought it would pass after a couple days. But Patty, unfortunately, 8 neighbors now are missing their cats. And my nephew, Danny, says that Grandma sounds like a cat with a fur ball. Yeah, they're talking, do you ever have a cat, Patty, when they get a fur ball? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Matt, where would you start on this? That's too cheap, Matt. What are you doing to me? Matt's trying to get me fired. $750. There's a big difference between this one and the last one. This one, there's only 195 of on the whole planet in the world. $750 to open. $100. This is a rare Thomas Kincaid. This is the rarest of all 4 Thomas Kincaids I have here tonight. There's only 175. You got Thomas Kincaid's DNA in the ink. This was made long before he died. I mean, this is one of the most expensive Thomas Kincaids you could have ever gotten. You know what? I hope nobody bids. I do, because that was too cheap. But thank you, Matt. Oh. And I know I want to show you this too, just to take a second. Editions Limited is my mom's old company. This is my first advertisement for the first show I ever did. It was on Telstar 1, Channel 5, and it says limited edition art show auctions. Look at that, Friday, June 21st, 1991. Let's see, 91, 01, 11, 21, 31, 32, 33. So I am finishing 33 years on the 21st. In 2 days, it's been official. It's in the record book, 33 years. So right now I'm only 32 years and 0.999999. So anyway, this at $750 to open is so cheap, it's scary. You don't want to buy Santa Claus's house? All right. Here's one right here that Wilson, I think Thomas Kincaid, and he's one of the greatest painters ever. I think he had a problem spelling words. Yes. Patty, I got it? No, I got it. I really do. But I'm just going to ask you, is it me? Because I get mad at, and I'm sorry, I hope no one's watching that's an English teacher. But the way you spell words depends. You can spell a word 3 different ways, and it's wrong 2 of the 3. Like this, right here. Look at the name of this. Patty, can you read that name when he comes in close? Be careful of the Novaros. Baby steps, Barry, baby steps. Man, I'm being gentle up against that. I'm baby stepping around the glass. But in a little while, Gil, my fish, is going to need some... No, I'm joking. I'm not. What's the name of this? It is Old Porterville Gift Shop. But he spelled shop, S-H-O-P-P-E. He spelled old, O-L-D-E. Oh my goodness, this is only number 673 of only 980 U.S. edition on paper. That is rare. Whew. Let me show the last one, then you just call me up. I'm going to work some deals. So I showed the 4-horsepower cart. I showed Santa Claus's house. I have now... Oh, look at that. Did they really used to spell that way, Wilson?
Yes.
In the United States?
Yes.
S-H-O-P-P-E.
Yes.
I do it on a paper. I'm an idiot. Come after school. They do it, and you're a genius. I don't like this. It's like my friend. I had a friend. I still have his friend. His name is Philip. How do I spell his name? They say P-H-I-L-P. Yeah. But I say it's Philip, not Philip. P-H-I-L-L--hyphen-U-P. Philip. Like I go to the gas station, I want a Philip. You know, but I spell like that and I'm laughed at. All right, I'm going to show you one more, and I'm just going to put this one down right here. So I'm just joking. I think Danny, my nephew, I showed you a picture of him when we went sailing. He's at my brother's house with my mother. Danny, if you get a chance, text me. Have you got your grandmother to stop eating the neighborhood cats, or is she telling you she's going to quit even though you know she's going to go have lunch or a snack? All right. This right here, Lamppost Publishing, which was his company, this is A Quiet Evening. And what makes this so rare, if you ask me, this is an edition, this is number 2262 of 3,850. I means International Edition. But right over here, Thomas Kincaid autographed this to Johnny or John in 2004. You see where he says, good luck, best wishes. And Thomas Kincaid actually autographed that, which he was known for at art shows. Oh man, it was like meeting the Pope, man. If you saw Thomas Kincaid at an art show, that bad example. All right, it was like meeting Elvis. You ever meet Elvis, Wilson? I don't think I have. I think I met an Elvis impersonator once. No, I wasn't. I haven't met an Elvis. Well, he said he was Elvis, but I don't know if he really was. In fact, I met him in 1994, and he said he was Elvis. He probably wasn't, right? All right, now, on this, tell you what I can do on this right here. I got to get some action going. Let me just see one thing. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. It's autographed. If somebody's named Johnny, you can get your own autograph. If you've been waiting for this in the mail for like 40 years, here it is. Tell you what, $485 to open, $100 increments. And it's hand autographed by the late, great Thomas Kincaid. And he made it out to Johnny. Item 134. 3134. Look at that. This is the Thomas Kincaid, a similar edition size and hallmarks and DNA and all that. Here's one that is so similar, and they want $5,050 for it. And I got this one up right now for a lot less. And this is what you used to get from Thomas Kincaid. Some of them would have, hey, here's a great one right here. Look at this, same thing, Stillwater Bridge. Look how small this is. It's 18 by 24, and they want $3,300 for it. And here's a type of certificate you'd get from Thomas Kincaid. I got this so cheap, nobody wants Thomas Kincaid tonight. Or nobody's watching me. All right, or nobody. Let me just double check. Hang on. There's something I got to do. So you don't have to dial the 1 when you're making a long distance call anymore. Is that what you're telling me?
Your call is very important to us. Please wait for the next available.
What do you normally say when you answer the phone? Hello. I'm watching this show and this poor overweight man can't sell anything. But I've lost a lot of weight, Patty. I really have. How come nobody's bidding on this? Nobody's bidding on this Thomas Kincaid. That's Juliana's taking the call. I'll tell you one thing I've learned about Juliana.
Which one? The one that's up there right now? The quiet evening? Yes, without a frame.
Yes.
Do you want to open? Open.
We have the open.
Or do you want it? Do you gonna want it free?
Thank you. We have $485. Looking for $585.
We'll get the
$485. Is it true, Giuliani, if anybody asks you what happened to Romeo, do you get mean?
No, I do not.
You just don't answer.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You knew what I'm talking about. You just don't want to answer. You heard what she did. Never mind. $485 going once. $485 going twice. Fair and final warning. All in, all said, sold. Thank you. Who got that one? Who?
Arnold.
Who?
Arnold. I don't think he's gonna.
Arnold?
Arnoldo.
Anorca.
With a dough.
With a what?
Arnoldo with an O at the end.
Can you say that name?
I can't even repeat it. I don't want to.
Yeah, they're going to. All right. I'll tell you what, call me up because, folks, it is once in a blue moon that I get Thomas Kincaid's in the Thomas Kincaid frame with the Thomas Kincaid certificates, and I have 3 left. Please call me up He died in 2012 of a heart attack. And he was working at an incredible pace. I mean, this guy was working 22 hours a day. I mean, he was just always working. This one is heavy. This is where Santa lives. Have you ever been to where Santa lives? I have, Patty. Have you? Yeah, I have. What's that? I was invited there. At least they told me they were, Santa and Mrs. Claus. Now, if they were up to some ulterior motive, I did drink a cup of tea from them, and I did fall asleep for 11 days, but I think they were good people. These are the 3 remaining Thomas Kincaids. Talk to me. I don't get many Thomas Kincaids because there is a very fierce market out there for Thomas Kincaids. And these are different years. And I mean, this one right here on the easel is 3-1 twee twee. Otherwise, this is old Porterville gift shop spelled wrong. They spelled old wrong, Wilson, and shop wrong. And I get C's in spelling, and they're allowed to do this. How can we help the youth of today? What would you do, Wilson, if someone came up to you and they said that I spelled shop S-H-O-P-P-E? Would you sit them down? Would you go, that's fine? What would you say, Wilson? You're not old school. He's an 8-year-old. And you're going to tell the 8-year-old he's old school? All right. Take a look at this right here. This is one of my favorites. This is Christmas Memories 3131. And, oh, look at that. I mean, these are all $4,000 and $5,000. Just call me. We had these up real cheap. These are custom frame. These are Thomas Kincade frames. They all come with the Thomas Kincade cert. They come with the DNA in the signature. You got everything. Now take a look at that last one because that's a special one. That's the palace right there, Wilson. That's where every kid wants to go. That's where Santa Claus lives. Yeah, you ever visited Santa Claus? Did he ever come to your house, Wilson? Did Santa Claus ever come to your house? Okay, so you visit. You're on his good list. I have these 3. Call me up. Tell me. These are very valuable Thomas Kincaids. I'm selling them so cheap. You ever get a lump of coal? You never got a lump of coal? Yeah. My brother gave me a lump of coal once on Christmas. I said, Mark, what the heck is this? He goes, oh, that's like a new sterno. Yeah, no, you just burnt the house down, Mark. What are you talking about? We got 2 people. 3 people online. Tell me which ones you want. Which one are they calling for? No. Hey, there's a jailbird. Hi.
Jailbird or jailbird?
Jailbird, Jay. How many days did you spend in jail?
Day and a half.
Day and a half?
Yeah, almost 2 days.
Almost 2 days. And they put you with the gang members?
Yeah.
All right.
And a lot of friends then.
Yes. Ah. Well, I'll tell you what, I got a special price in mind on the next person to buy one of these 3 right here. Without shipping. Here, I'm going to write this down. Now, don't pass out, Patty. Any one of these 3. Can I borrow your pen?
Yes, sir.
Can I write on your arm? I'm not going to write on your arm. All right. This is a very special price. This price does not leave this room. If I come here next week, well, if I come here again, I ask, what was that secret price? If anybody says it, I'm going to turn Jay the jailbird loose on you. You spent a day and a half in jail, hardcore. And you got that tattoo on your back, too, that says, born to ride, ride to kill. I like it, Jay. Here's the price. Any one of those three, if they call real fast.
Those?
Yes, those, but they got to call, and you cannot tell this price unless they're registered or really sincere. Otherwise, I sick Jay on you.
Okay.
He looks pretty tough. Were you a tough prisoner?
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan?
Yeah.
What about Jackie Chan? Oh, you were like Jackie Chan?
Yeah.
No. No. All right, nobody's calling. This price will remain a secret. And, but I tried. Well, thank you. That's a very, very special price. But they got to pay shipping too. So thank you. I am going to move these three. Someone's going to call, Patty. Which one's your favorite of these three? The four horsepower car? Yeah. What's that?
You should give it a couple of minutes. I mean, really, have Wilson do
Yeah, Wilson pan this. We have a special, one-time only.
That's the price, and they're framed.
They're framed at that price. And they got to pay shipping, but they're framed. These are, if you bought this from well, I don't know about it nowadays, but back in the 90s, you went to a Thomas Kincaid store. Oh, my goodness. Well, I got comps here, 5,000 and 6,000, and I got them so cheap. I got a price so cheap, I'm going to sit down right here. And I'm also paranoid my knee is going to knock the Novaro table. I know, don't. No, that's why I keep saying baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. That's one right there. Look at that. He was called the painter of light, Thomas Kincaid. And he was one of the hardest working artists ever. And unfortunately, died of a heart attack April 6th, 2012, at 54 years old. Who's the singer that married a supermodel? Billy Joel, yeah. Only the good die young. Oh, hang on. We got to talk about Romeo. No, I'm joking. Of course he was good. Of course he was good. Yeah. I mean, I don't see why anybody would question you. Of course somebody can hit by three lightning bolts in the same half an hour. Yes. All right. That would have been the deal of the century, but I'm going to move along because, all right, Patty, I'm going to, should I keep him up here or move him down there? I have one of the most amazing artists. Oh, that was the America's most. Oh, I broke it. Well, if I did, it's my fault. I am sorry, Patty. All right, and I have one light one right here. And I'm going to put this one back up so people will call and say, do you have any Thomas Kincaids? Now you're mad at me. Okay. You want to see something so cool, Wilson? Jean-Claude Novaro did something that nobody in 5,000 years ever did. He made glass glow at night. This particular angel is a fluorescent Novaro. Nobody in the history of glass ever made glass glow at night except Jean-Claude Novaro. The fluorescent matter in there at 700 or 800 degrees will vaporize, but yet this was made at 2,300 degrees. That's what he had to figure out how to do. This one right here, this angel, is fluorescent. Now, some of these are off the chart. This is my favorite Novaro only because I got to name this in 2002 with Jean-Claude Novaro. This is a symphony of dancing bubbles. This to me is the hardest Novaro to make. I watched him make them. This particular Novaro took 5 to 6 months of different cooling ovens to cool. In other words, if you just make this at 2,300 degrees and then you just leave it out, it's going to crack, it's going to shatter. He had to take it from 2,300 degrees to 1,800 to 1,200, just slowly. He won the Chevalier Award. Look at that, J.C. Novaro 2008. He signed his name and he wrote his name. This is one of the greatest Novaros I have ever seen. He did a commission in Monte Carlo for $150,000. He did a big office for over $2 million of glass. Jean-Claude Novaro is one of the greatest glass makers that ever walked the planet. And I just want to show you a few quotes. Here is Frank Sinatra, who was a Novaro collector. Patty, do you know what Frank is saying right there while he holds that puppy? He says, Jean-Claude, give me 2 more, you'll never see your little puppy again. No, he didn't. Here is his Guinness Book of World Records for the largest mouth-blown, hand-spun glass sculpture ever. Here is Chevalier de l'Ordre des Arts and Letters, the highest honor an artist in France could ever win. He won it. He would wear that medal on special occasions. This was a display he did in Beverly Hills. It's also a display he did in Monte Carlo. I had the honor of driving in one car, Jean-Claude and me, and in another car, Ben, Kate, Jen, and his wife. I think my pulse has finally calmed down, Wilson. That was 30 years ago, but he drove fast. But that was a display of fluorescent Novaros. Here is little Kate. She was 4.5 to 5, standing next to a sculpture made by Jean-Claude. That little Katie right now is 1.5 inches taller than me. She's 6'3.5", Wilson. I know I might have overdone it with the stretching machine. But they can be mean kids when they're 12, 13, 14.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Dad, don't do it. Dad, you embarrassed me again. You never come to another one of my basketball games. Don't do it, Dad. So of course I'd put her on a stretching machine. This is what they look like. That's with the lights on, lights off. That's how the fluorescent worked. Here was somebody selling a Novaro clown, $25,000 on eBay. Jean-Claude Novaro is and was the greatest glassmaker of all. Here is when he had a show on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. Here is Gallery Novaro in Monte Carlo. Here is a golf trophy, the Novaro trophy, when Jean-Claude would present the golf champion with a trophy. This was ads that they were running in Europe. Illuminate your style, Novaro. First man ever to make glass glow. Here's me trying to blow glass with Jean-Claude Novaro. It ended in a wastebasket of water. It vaporized like my dream of that vase, Wilson. Here was a show they had in Paris. All kinds of dignitaries came because he was the first ever to make glass glow. Here is one of his favorite pictures. Well, this was his funeral. Notice there was a traffic jam in Antibes, France, when they buried him. Jean Reno, the actor, was one of his great friends. Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, and Jean-Claude Novaro were like best friends. And Robert Kraft even invited Jean-Claude Novaro to the high limit, what do you call it in the Patriots Stadium, their big trophy room. And there are 3 of the trophies of the New England Patriots with Jean-Claude standing by. Here's Jean-Claude just casually making glass. He didn't think twice about it. Here is Jean-Claude. His hands were just burned. He'd hold out his hands, you wouldn't believe it. And let me see, here is, behind him, is he made a Tom Brady and another player out of glass. So folks, you are talking about one of the greatest glass makers that ever lived and died. A large portion, I am told, of the estate is still in French probate. And this was one of his favorite pictures when he was alive. It says Jean-Claude Novaro, the King of Glass, 1943 to 2014. And that is his son, Joseph. Full grown now. So folks, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the most amazing Novaros on the planet. This is the King of Glass right here, the Dancing Bubbles. And what I want to do, Wilson, and if we could just, I'm going to just leave that one right there. I just want to, this is one of the prettiest landscapes done by Jean-Claude Novaro I ever saw. And Patty, when she looked at it, she said, Novaro met Azoulay. And this one with the coloring. This is mouth blown, hand spun. It's called a landscape. That's the style. This next to it is a landscape with gold in it. How you make that with gold, because at 2300 degrees, small gold pieces will kind of vaporize, and even the stopper has gold. This is a very heavy, that's 18 karat gold in it, vase by Jean-Claude Novaro. And the item number on this one is 3130. Oh, I'm standing in front of it. Oh my goodness, these are 35, 45,000 if you can find one. I'm not going to charge you that, but for something like this would have taken 5 to 7 months just to cool down. And I remember Jean-Claude showing me vases that he didn't take enough stair-stepping the temperature down that they just shatter. He was the king of glass. He knew what he was doing. This is stunning. This is one of the largest vases we have. I got ads when he was alive. I got one over there. 27,000 for a vase this size. When he was alive, this is 3128. Now, what a lot of people don't know is Novaro didn't use pre-mixed glass. Every color you see here, he would take this ball. It looked like a ball of honey, but it was 2,300 degrees. You touch it, your skin's burned off for life. And he would touch it. He'd have powder on a table, and it would be white powder, but he knew if he touched it right there long enough and then moved off it, that would be a royal blue. And he did that with reds and yellows and these aquamarine colors. This was all handmade in the mind of Jean-Claude Novaro while he's making it. Second to none. This is a fluorescent angel. This was such a surprise that we got this. Look at this, 2005, Jean-Claude Novaro. When you turn the lights off, this will glow. Look at all that fluorescence just in the stopper, Wilson. And I think Matt has a picture of this glowing. It's unbelievable. This right here, I think Ashley or Matt came up with a really cool name for this. What were they calling this one? Cheetah. I am not going to reach that item number because I will knock it over. Orange cheetah. 3105. Even the stopper is perfect. And this is so cool. Look at this one right here. This is regal blue, royal blue, mixed with black blue colors and bubbles. And you can burn your face off making those bubbles. I watched him do it, and it was just unbelievable. What is the item number on this? 3126. This, Novaro would have told you, was a museum piece. You see, when you look at the bottom here, Wilson, it radiates through that hue of blue. It's just second to none. This is something that he did work in Saudi Arabia. Not Saudi Arabia. What country was it? He made glass over in there for 1 year. And, oh my goodness, they would pay $400,000 or $500,000 for some of his creations. And this is just one of those amazing ones. Now, what I want you to do, I wish I had more, folks. Believe it or not, let's see, 17 years ago, Jean-Claude would come on the show, and I would have 35 pieces. And I'd have a translator with Jean-Claude, and we'd sell them. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces of mouth-blown, hand-spun, hand-signed, and hand-written J.C. Novaro, by Novaro, on each one of these pieces. This is unbelievable. This is something that if you showed that to somebody at Sotheby's or Butterfield's, Wilson, you better know CPR, because they're going to go, no one has that many. Yes, we do. Because these came from his original publisher. Now here's what I want you to do, folks. I'm going to start selling these. Let me show you this right there. I forgot to show you this. That's the very famous French actor Jean Reno. He used to stop by and make glass with Jean-Claude Novaro. So what I would like to do, and when I talk about cooling ovens, this is Jean-Claude trying to cool glass just right so it doesn't shatter. What I want to do is I want to show you 10 minutes. The translator on this, the person reading it, is Virginie, Jean-Claude Novaro's wife. And I am so glad we made this. When we come back, it's only 10 minutes. When I come back, we're going to sell all 7 of these. I hope you're one of the lucky people to get one. Take a look at this.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Jean-Claude
Hello,
Novaro.
my name is Jean-Claude Novaro. I am an artist glassblower. I've been doing this work since the age of 14. I live in France, on the French Riviera. I live in a small village called Biot, near Antibes, which is a very beautiful town. I was born in Biot, and I have a lot of friends in Biot. My life is my family, my friends, my work, and the animals. I love animals.
Patriote, yes, good, way!
I've been making glass for 48 years, with passion and with love. I discovered this craft when I was very young. I discovered it, and it was so magical that it has become my life. It's my pleasure. I get as much pleasure from it today as I did 48 years ago, and I'm very happy to do this craft. When I started to make glass, I was very young. I just turned 14, and there was a glass factory in Biot. And I used to go play in the glass factory, and I liked it so much that I got myself hired. I started to make goblets, stemware, carafes, and it so happened that I was very talented at this craft, and then I was on my way. After 20 years, I added colors, did a lot of research, and then I set myself up on my own, and it wasn't going well, but I wanted it to, so I searched, and then one day there was a click, and it started to work, and it worked, and it worked. I was overwhelmed by that it was so popular, all the galleries in Paris, in France, people really liked it a lot. And that was such a good feeling because thanks to that I can continue to do a lot of research. I've never opened a book about anyone, the great glassblowers. I never opened one book. It's not interesting to me. Everything I do comes out of my mind, out of my research. It's my life. But I'm surprised and very happy that what I do is appreciated, and I'm very, very happy. What is art? You like it or you don't. There's no accounting for taste. Everybody has their own opinion. But what I love in art, it has to be made with your hands. Painting, pottery, ironwork, bronze, all that for me is art. I like art that is made by hand. When you sweat and then later it can take any form you like. Each artist does what he wants, has his own imagination, but art, it's in the hands. It's in the heart. And then later it's in the eyes. And then people like it or not, that's art. Personally, I think that if we don't preserve the work of the hands, the traditions, there's nothing left. Life, what is life? We breathe, we drink, we hear, we sleep. But I think that we must preserve the hands' work, working the soil, the mason's work, the painter's work, manual work. It must be preserved. It's very important. That's what life is. It's simple, not complicated, and I think that it's good. When I'm making a piece, I'm always at my maximum state of being. I feel like I'm relaxed, but I'm tense and very focused, because it's not easy to blow and give life to a piece, to give it shape. And I'm always at my maximum when I'm making a piece, from the beginning to the end of the piece. I just love to live. I love to make a living through my work, because every day when I go in front of my oven, I'm very, very happy to feel the heat from the oven, to feel the noise, to apply the colors, take a little bit of glass, to start to blow, to work it, to blow, to sweat. It's hot. Between the glass and me, it's a game, because I always want to make pieces that have never been done anywhere in the world. In other words, every time I develop new techniques, color techniques, that have never been done before, and I'm the one who invented them, and it's a game, and I want it to work, because sometimes it breaks and sometimes it doesn't work. It's a struggle between the glass and me to find the technique, why it's breaking, and to discover how it won't break. And after 7 to 8 years, I managed to develop this technique. It's a give and take between the glass and me constantly. And when the piece is done, I put it in the oven. For me, it's a new baby about to be born when it will come out of the oven.
Good.
So when I have an idea for a piece, the idea is in my head. And before I make the piece, it's in my head for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, sometimes a year, sometimes 2, sometimes less, sometimes more. And when I'm ready to make this piece in my head, then I make the piece. Gradually, as I'm making the work, I see the reaction of everything I put into it, colors, gold leaf, and all the rest, and then based on that, I make my piece. Once the piece is done, I put it in the oven to anneal for 15, 16, 18 hours. And when the piece comes out, then I look at it and I say to myself, that's okay, that's not so good, that's not good. And for me, then the piece is made, and at that point, I start to make a new collection. But it takes 2 or 3 years before I make the piece. When I was developing the fluorescent pieces, I gave it 10 years of my life before it worked. 10 years of my life, that's huge. When I developed the gold technique so that it wouldn't melt inside the glass, it took me 5 years. It took 6 years of my life. And every time I develop a new technique, it spends years in my head. It's there, it's waiting. I do it, I don't do it. I don't know, it's passion. It's passion. I've been doing this work for 48 years. I haven't seen the time go by, and I feel like I started making glass yesterday. It's so exciting to do. I always think about my work all the time, all the time. I think that I wouldn't be able to make the pieces I do if I didn't think about it constantly. And I still enjoy working as much as I did 20 years ago. And I think that I'll still enjoy doing what I do in 10 years, even if I'm 10 years older, because it's a wonderful career I've had. That I've been fortunate enough to learn, sure, but more than anything, fortunate that I like it and fortunate it's successful. Because there's lots of people who love their jobs, but they live hand to mouth. Whereas I've had the good fortune that people like it, and I'm very happy, and thanks to that, I can continue till the end. It's my life, it's my passion, and thank you to all of you who buy my pieces.
Hi, folks. That was Jean-Claude Novaro in Beaulieu, France, which is near Nice, and he was the greatest of the great. This is one of the most prized Novaros I have seen in a decade. If I had known this was available, I'd never compete with my customers. That's a secret to being on the air 33 years. But even the anchor, look how special just the stopper is, Wilson. Look at every twist and turn. Jean-Claude did not know what color had come out, but 40 years of glass making, he did. That was a white powder. He would have 200-degree ball of goo just on a table, and it would come out like this. This is one of the most valuable Jean-Claude Novaros I have seen in a long, long time. It is 3129. That's gotta be, in today's market, with glass, with the first man to ever make glass glow at night, that's going to be $55,000, $75,000. It is perfect. And his first dealer that brought him to the United States, he owned this, and that's how I got it. I'll give you guys some deals, but that is one of the most special pieces. And then you come to this. This is what museums want to buy. This is a museum piece. Every angle, under any light, this piece is so stunning, it defies logic. And what I'm going to do, just gently, Wilson, look from the top down at those bubbles. They change colors in front of your eyes. This is what the great of the great was able to make. And it is absolutely stunning. And he made this in 2001, I believe. And you have Jean-Claude Novaro. He signs his name. He scribes his name. This is unbelievable. This right here, this fluorescent angel, that is the only fluorescent Novaro I have seen for sale in forever. Now, I believe Matt has a picture of that when it glows in the dark, because this piece is so unbelievable. And yes, look at that. And that is not even really in the dark the way that picture was taken. You see that, Patty? The lights were still partially on. You turn all the lights off, you could read by it. And folks, to own one of the few remaining fluorescent Novaros right here, done in 2005, unbelievable. And I'm going to call me up, because whoever gets these, You are buying one of the most valuable artists to ever walk, breathe, and unfortunately die. Oh, this is heavy. You want to see one of the most colorful vases, the Jean-Claude. This is huge, and this kind of dwarfs it. Look at this. This right here is 3128. This is huge. Look at that lime green. He was a master at that. Yeah, we'll put up the graphics on those, and now I'm going to start selling them. I'll roll up my sleeves, I'll sharpen my pencil, I'll turn my calculator on. I'll work you a deal any way I can. But look at that. I don't want to look like I'm a gangster, but I can't read without good glasses. Oh, retailing something like that. Today's market, 75 to 90,000. I mean, this is perfect. Or at least let's be conservative, 65,000. I mean, this is why most glass makers have hernias. I mean, you got to deal with 2300 degree honey, basically. Yeah, retail 65,000 on this. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Give me 1 second. Watch this. All right, folks. I'm giving stuff away. My favorite, the Dancing Bubbles, 3129. Oh my goodness, the Dancing Bubbles, blue Dancing Bubbles, $2,795. That's too cheap, Patty. I haven't seen many of these. 4, 5, 6 years ago, I sold 3 that I had bought from Jean-Claude on the show. I kept 2 that he personalized to me, but this is a perfect $2,795. That is as good. That is, and I'm not bad-mouthing in any way Dale Chihuly. He made glass. Famous, and he gave up an eye to glass. A Novaro Dancing Bubble, unheard of. You visit French museums, glass museums, they talk about Jean-Claude Novaro. On this large yellow one, right here, it is huge. 3128. $2,495. Yeah, when you try and spin glass that weighs this much, they all get hernias. Wes Hunting, a glass maker, he would, many have kidney problems because you're working in such heat. You're consuming so much water. Now, the museum piece right here. Patty, what is the item number on this? Because I do not. This is this one right here. No, I haven't priced this one yet. This one right here is, right here. I know which one this is. Oh, this is, I think, Novaro 11. Oh my goodness. I'm going to give someone a deal. This is a museum piece. Patty, this is $35,000, $40,000. It's only because I know his first publisher that we can do that. Retail $35,000. Watch this. Oh my goodness. $1,595. That is a museum piece. That should be in the Metropolitan Museum of Art or the Corning Glass Museum in Corning, New York, where they have a glass museum. And did I price the fluorescent angel yet?
No, I asked them.
All right. I want to give everybody a deal. Hey, Pat. About this fluorescent angel here. This glows in the dark. 15 years ago, I could have offered you 15, maybe 10 glow-in-the-dark pieces that were top-notch. Only one I got. They're on Dubai is where he made glass. In Dubai, for the royal family of Dubai. They paid incredible amounts of money. Oh, I'll give someone a deal. Folks, this is the only fluorescent Novaro I have on this planet. It's stunning. It glows so deep. $2,700 to open. $200 increments if we get the open. Call me up. Talk to me. Jean-Claude Novaro is one of the most substantial artists I ever met. I mean, he, from being in the New England Patriots Hall of Fame room, meeting Tom Brady, friends of Robert Kraft, friends of so many artists and celebrities. My gosh, you had Frank Sinatra holding his puppy hostage. I cannot verify that hostage. I might have made that up. But he was holding Jean-Claude Novaro's puppy. Call me. I don't know what more to say about these Novaros than wow. Especially that blue dancing bubble. If there's any way you can swing that, that is the perfect color blue. That is a perfect piece. I don't know if there's any way you could make that happen. You are buying a family heirloom. You are buying something your grandkids, your great-grandkids are going to go, wow, why did great-grandma and great-grandpa buy that? I sure am glad they did. That is possibly the most perfect dancing bubble I have ever seen by Jean-Claude Novaro. Some of them he makes red and blue bubbles. That one flows like nobody's business. We'll put the graphics up on that. It is item number 3129. It's perfect. Look at that. I think I priced it at $2,795. Folks, there's nowhere in the world you could get that. I would hazard to guess, in most places, the stopper alone would cost you twice that. To get one where Jean-Claude Novaro wrote his name, signed his name on the bottom, and dated it. The first man in the history of time to make glass glow at night. Whether you want a dancing bubble, which is I personally believe one of the top-notch Novaros, this museum piece right here, this large multicolor vase, or the fluorescent angel, call me. Here, I'll tell you what, this is one of the prettiest Novaros right here. 3127. And Patty so diligently said this is Novaro meeting Azoulay. Look at that. That is a perfect vase. Look at that. Tell you what, that is, I'm going to give something so cheap. If they don't call for this, I know it ain't me, Patty. Are you ready for this? If they don't call for this, it ain't me. This is one of the prettiest vases I've ever had up. $1,100 to open. $100 increments. Look at that. Look into it. It's changing colors before your eyes. That is stunning. $19,000 to $27,000 retail. And I'm offering this at $1,100, and it's so cool. Yes, I have Gregory Wilhelmi coming up. I have a Michael Schofield. I got David Lloyd Glover. But folks, this is as good as it gets. This is the hardest to find artist, hardest to find glass maker on the planet. He was the nicest guy you ever wanted to meet, too, in life. He loved animals. He had a donkey at his house. He had a lot of cats and dogs. And his little son, who was full grown, Joseph, I used to call him WWF Joseph, because wherever we went, he would just tackle Ben and Katie. And Kate was a little younger than him, and Ben a couple years older. And now what I want to do, oh, I got it. Ugh. What's that? Okay. Yeah, I put it up, I think, 2,500 to open. But call me. Look at this. Look at all that. That's gold in there. This is 3130. Call me. And I want to thank you for watching this much of the presentation. And on that, I got a sheet right here. $1,795. Look at that. Folks, Wilson, I'm going to try and get in this shot right there. Good. Now, if you ever go to a glass shop, and they'll sell you a piece that if Dale Chihuly had anything to do with it, that's 2 inches long, they'll tell you it's $25,000. You know, Salviati, another one. We used to sell, it's unaffordable nowadays. And this is only because I've been on TV. In 2 days, it will end my 33rd year. So technically, Wilson, I've been on TV 32 years, 0.99999, repeating. But any of these, they're the top of the line. Call me. And I would do if somebody put a gun to Patty's head, I'm not going to put a gun to my head. She's looking at me like, yeah. I would tell him, if hands down, I would buy that fiendishly beautiful light blue dancing bubble. That is the single nicest dancing bubble Novaro I have ever seen. I've been to museums in Nice where they have his pieces. I've been to museums in Paris where they have glass art. I've never seen a Novaro better than that one right there. Call me up. Talk to me.
Open on the pink and blue in front. Open.
On which one?
700. You have the open at
Azoulay meets no. We have the 1100. Looking, what kind of increments do I have? 1 or 200?
100.
What's that?
100.
1100 has been bid. Looking for 12. And I do think there might be a little bit of fluorescence there, but I can't guarantee it. But it does, doesn't it look like it's glowing a little bit?
We'll test it out.
Yeah, but it is stunning. 1100, way too cheap, going once. $1,100 going twice. Why, oh, Wilson? You know, I have skill. I could have been a brain surgeon. All right, I could not have. I get squeamish around blood. All right, I could have been a pitchman for a circus. Nah, those they're cruel to animals. Some of them. A lot of them aren't. $1,100 going twice. All right, I can't be a doctor or surgeon. I couldn't be a pilot because everybody in my family lived but crashed so many times. All in, all said. Whoever got that, that's a steal. Now watch this. Look at this, Patty. Tell me, it's glowing, isn't it? A little bit. I can't tell. All right, gone. Sold. Here we go, and be very gentle with this. And there's the stopper. Doesn't look like the stopper's going, but I can't tell. Thank you. What state got that? And I think, what state got that?
The stopper, it's glow in the dark. FYI, you can let the customer.
The stopper does glow in the dark.
It does glow in the dark.
Ooh, they made a mistake. Good. They get a glow in the dark stopper.
Yeah, it glows in the dark.
And what state bought that?
I think you have to ask Wilson.
Wilson, what state bought the last piece? Wilson, Hudson is not a state. It's a city. No, but what? We'll find out what state bought that. Now, you cannot go wrong. I'll tell you what I am going to do. Just because I'm living on the dangerous side here, Wilson. I am going to move this, which is gorgeous. No one says it's not gorgeous. But I am going to move the fluorescent angel right over here. And I am going to put it. Look at that. Chevalier de l'Ordre des Arts and Letters. Given to Jean-Claude Novaro in 2003 and from Paris. Look at this right here. When he died, there was a huge backup of people trying to attend Jean-Claude Novaro's funeral in Antibes, France. Folks, I hope you're out there. This is as good as it will ever get. I'm going to put some real, it's either 18 or 22 karat gold right here next to the dancing bubble. And then I have a huge vase right here that I am going to put right over here, Wilson. Call me. And what? State of Washington. All right. Yes. The state, Wilson. I know that's also a capital, but we're talking the state of Washington. All right, Wilson, trivia question. Where did Ponce de Leon think the Fountain of Youth was? You're right, St. Augustine's, Florida. You're right. You knew it too? Well, I heard Wilson first. Hey, do me a favor, new operator, give Wilson a cookie. You want a cookie, Wilson. All right, no, you don't get a cookie. You can have a cookie if you want, Wilson. I'll bring you. What kind of cookies do you like? Chocolate chip. What about vanilla chip? I like vanilla better than chocolate. If I'm living real dangerous, Wilson, I'll have half vanilla, half chocolate. But you got to be living on the edge for that, Wilson. You can't go eat a half vanilla, half chocolate chip cookie. I mean, you got to be grounded to do that, Wilson. Take a look at this collection. Folks, you are looking at the greatest of the great. He was in a couple movies. What's that one? Tom Hanks' early lady, what was her name? Meg Ryan. Yeah. Jean Reno. So, folks, to me, the dancing bubble, this museum piece, when you get this at home and look how the bubbles change color before your eyes and how a shadow on any of the bubbles up top make them look different, and the fluorescent angel. This right here, Wilson, that is why Jean-Claude Novaro will be remembered for thousands of years. When people start talking about explorers, who are they going to remember the most, you think, Wilson? Christopher Columbus? Magellan? Magellan sailed around the world. Who are they going to be remembering the most in glass? Jean-Claude Novaro, for making glass glow at night. And he told me in broken English, and then with the translator, how he spent 12 years. He'd give up, then he'd start again, and then one morning, it was so dark, and he went to his little garage where he was working on, he saw this little fluorescent, and he goes, I'm getting close. And so call me. And there are my Novaros. I want to give it just a couple more minutes. And if you're tuning in late, don't do that. No, if you're tuning in late, Matt, I think I have a 3-minute Jean-Claude Novaro film to give you a flavor of his sense of humor. He loved donkey. He had a donkey that was a pet that, and keep calling, but after this I am moving to David Lloyd Glover. I'm also going to be moving to Gregory Wilhelmi. So please take a look at this. I put that little film together after he died, and he is one of the all-time greats. I know everybody has so many choices to do with their money, vacations. I flew out of Long Beach Airport to Oakland a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Long Beach Airport has never had a line at TSA. It's like you got to be kidding. There was an hour-and-a-half line. I had to go sign up for that clear where they take pictures of your eyes and your fingerprints just to get through TSA to make it to the flight. And I was the last guy to get on the plane, luckily, and I ran to do it. A choice I would give a lot of weight to. These are the best of the best. You can't make a bad choice. Jean-Claude Novaro is one of the top glass makers ever, period, stop, end the story. I wish I could come here with 20 fluorescents like I did 10, 12 years ago. I don't. They're gone. They all are in Dubai and everywhere where there's a lot of money. Here is a fluorescent Novaro, and it's in the shape of an angel. And I priced this so cheap. I mean, really cheap. And we'll pull up the graphics on the fluorescent angel. And it is just, that's mouth blown, hand spun, diamond scribed. Then he scribes with a diamond his full name. He dates it. And I'm going to walk right over here. This is, look at this. He did this in 2003. Look at it, it's glowing right there. And all these bright lights under it. Matt, what's the item number on the angel? Because I get.
He already has it up there.
Yeah.
B106. He has it up there.
Yeah, what did I price this at? 2,500, right? Or is that a mistake? I just accidentally lowered my low price. Yeah, 2,500 to open. And you were talking about the last fluorescent. On a different note, Patty, it's been a tough show. You know what I think, Patty? I want my mommy. They're beating on me here tonight. Mom, they're hurting me. They really are. Yeah, I hope my mom's doing all right. Let me just make one text real fast. Is my mommy folks, and I'm going to move on because I have Gregory Wilhelmi. I got one amazing Michael Schofield, but I have some of the greatest Gregory Wilhelmis. I still have 3 Thomas Kincaids here, but hands down, if you can get this one or the fluorescent angel, tell you what, I'm going to put those two. I'm going to put right here. 1, 2, and 3 of the greatest Novaros I have seen in a long time. This, I want it so bad, but I never compete with customers. This is what a museum would have. When you get this at home, Wilson, I'm going to try and show them what I am seeing right here. Do they see how those bubbles inside the bubbles are changing colors? I mean, it is just unbelievable. That is available. So we got a fluorescent angel, you got a museum piece, and you got one of the coolest dancing bubbles I've ever seen. Last few minutes on Jean-Claude Novaro, and I am moving on to some other pieces. And I thank you for at least letting me say my piece. And Wilson, my mommy's watching. Hi, Mom. And Danny, did you get her to stop eating the neighbor's cats? Can you believe her? My mom is a sweet lady, but she'll tell a fib or two, Patty. You've met her? Yeah. And it's all because Darby, her dog, had a demon in him, and I performed an exorcism on Darby, and the demon jumped from Darby to my mom. And now the neighbors say 8 cats have been eaten. My mom ate 8 cats. You know, given a choice, I would have gone with horse meat. No, I don't eat cats or horses or anything like that. But anyway, thank you. Think about all of these. I want to put this piece up right here. This is Michael John Schofield. BC 3116. This is one of the greatest paintings he's ever painted. It's the only Schofield I'm showing you tonight. He's retired. This is a painting. He has a pathway that you follow. He has the light open up in these parts. If there was a star that needs to own this painting, you know who it would be, Patty? Daniel Day-Lewis from the movie There Will Be Blood. I just like how they said in the title, There Will Be Blood. Yes. Tell you what, I got a price on this. Michael, who is retired, I could show you when he was working at Hub's Historical. And he is also in the $1 billion Arm & Hammer art collection. He painted for Stephen J. Canal Productions in the 70s. But that is about as good and colorful and hard to paint landscape. Now, Schofield will tell you he wants 40 grand. I got ad after ad from Michael. He's retired, but he wants 40 grand. If you like this Schofield, it's a one-of-a-kind original, signed on the back, signed on the front. $2,200 to open, or just call me and I'll make it happen. It is absolutely stunning. I can feel it. Hang on. Wilson, I'm going to have to use, because the show's been so slow. Oh, and this cost me. Wilson, do you know how much energy? I'm getting to be an old guy, man. My hair is gray. But this hurts. I am going to psychically, Wilson, connect myself, Patty. Children, don't try this at home. It might not end well. I am going to try and psychically connect with a person that's going to buy the fluorescent angel and the dancing bubble. Oh, is it worth it? Should I do it? I'm doing this for Jack in the network.
I have a message really quick. It says, please tell Barry that there was a 2-hour wait to take the ferry each way to Whidbey Island today.
To Whidbey Island? In Washington? Yeah, I used to take the ferry from Vashon Island. Ooh, and Vashon is... Well, thank you for watching. But I am going to psychically connect with somebody right now. Don't try this, Wilson. I'm doing this for you, Jack. I'm not going to break it, but the message just went to the buyer. They're going to be sitting there and they're going to go like, what happened? That's what's going to happen. Does that ever happen to you, Wilson, when you're just like driving in the car or walking along and that happens to you? Daily. You're picking up psychic signals from probably not too nice of people. So anyway, I have the Schofield, I have the Novaro, and I'm going to show you, I got a Thomas Kincaid over there. I'm going to show you my favorite Gregory Wilhelmi because I got to help name this. I named this after my daughter. It's called Katie Lane. This is 3117. Oh, I'm famished after that psychic signal. I mean, you guys believe in calorie and counting? To send out that psychic signal, Wilson? 29 million calories. I mean, you know, no, I don't know. Take a look at this. This is a hand-embellished Jaclay number 4 or 5 on paper, Gregory Wilhelmi. Katie Lane, I was attracted to the light glowing through the trees at the end of this foliage-lined street. A subtle spiritual created a subtle spirituality created by the bending pathway. Right there. It is 20 by 32. That is hand signed by Gregory Wilhelmi. Hand numbered by Gregory Wilhelmi. And on the back, he tells you the story and signs it on the back too. We did an edition called Katie Lane long time ago. It was an edition of 250, and those were selling for $2,400 each. This is a one of a kind that he did only 5 of, number 4 or 5. Tell you what I'm going to do. Retail's probably 19,000, 17 to 19,000. Watch this, Patty. 800 to open, $100 increments. That is a perfect painting done by Gregory Wilhelmi, my cowboy artist. All right, oh, that's beautiful. What are you doing this weekend, Patty?
This week, I'll probably be at a beach somewhere.
The beach? You really?
I'm an oceanaholic.
You like the beach?
I'm an oceanaholic.
Sometimes I go, but it gets pretty hot and I go to the beach. I pick up shells on the sun of the beach. All right, the sun and beach. All right, bad joke. I'm sorry. Mom, they're picking on me. Even the operators are throwing tomatoes at me. Yeah, Mom. Do me a favor, Mom. Guilt Patty. No, Patty's fine. Guilt Juliet. She killed her husband, Romeo. Well, we can't. Yeah, Juliet's saying, you can't prove that. You're right. I can't prove it. Right here is On the Colorado 3122. Hand embellished edition, number 1 of 10, Gregory Wilhelmi. A mountain meadow of green and gold surrounded by the towering blues of the Rocky Mountain National Park is the birthplace of the mighty Colorado River, 1,450 miles from the glacier, the confluence with the Gulf of California. Number 1 of 10. And he hand embellishes it with watercolor, with pastel, with everything. You're talking $17,000 retail, $800 to open. Give me a call. Let me know what you want to see. I have 3 Thomas Kincaids left. I got Casey's Golden Pheasant by Gregory Wilhelmi. I have Union Station in Denver. Oh, that is amazing. Look how he makes the reflections dance. Here, just call me. Look at this, Patty. He's making it. Union Station at night. Denver, Colorado, 3119. And Matt, how long is a David Lloyd Glover interview? Because David Lloyd Glover, knowing what I now know, you know, Wilson, I'm going to recommend anybody have a son, a male baby, use Lloyd as his middle name. That adds power. David Lloyd Glover. But you got to be selective. Like it could be, you don't want Larry Lewis Looney. Yeah, no, yeah, just Larry Lloyd Lewis. Nah, too many L's. But it might go. Because I have some David Lloyd Glovers coming up tonight. They're just second to none. And David Lloyd Glover is one of the most successful Japanese artists. He's American, but he would sell for art brilliance in Japan. And his art was considered dowry worthy, which is like the highest standard in Japan. But I want to show you David Lloyd Glover in his own words. What's that? Let's show it. Take a look at this.
I'm David Lloyd Glover, and art is my life. I've been an artist for the last 40 years. I've made my entire living working in the art field. When people ask me what my style is, I usually describe it as vivid impressionism, and that's because of the color palette that I use. And it's not so much about, am I a landscape painter, a seascape painter, or am I a still life painter, representational painter? I paint all things. There is a Glover signature. Collectors tell me there's something they see in my work, regardless of subject matter. They recognize my use of vivid colors, and there's a real resonance that they feel when they view one of my paintings, and particularly when they own one of the paintings. It has real emotional impact to them. When I was about 4 years old, my father took me to his favorite movie, and he took me to see Disney's Fantasia. And that was a whole wide world emotional thing that happened to me. You know, being in a big movie theater, the big screen, and seeing this artwork come to life, I was completely knocked off kilter. And my father explained to me that those aren't real things. I thought that was a real world. He said, no, those are all drawings. It was that mind-blowing experience that my father took me to that started me on this track of having to create, and I was voracious. I was drawing on everything. So they were getting me big stacks of paper, and I was filling them up as fast as I could, drawing everything that I saw on television, like Buck Rogers, Gene Autry, Roy Rogers. I mean, I was just out of my mind. It started there, and it never stopped. I'm always thinking of the person who is going to view the painting and what perspective they're going to have on it, particularly if they're going to be the owner of that painting. It becomes their personal possession and therefore their personal vision. The passion isn't to entertain me. It's not about what I think or what I feel so much. I think about what it would affect somebody else and how I could deeply impact their psyche. I want to bring out human emotions in a way that is calming, serene, exciting. If it's a brilliant sunset or something, it's all about emotions. That's what paint is. My paintings are really expressions of emotion. The moment that I realized I was gaining a reputation in art was when my Brentwood gallery was having an exhibition for me, and I walked into a very busy gallery full of people waiting to see me. I noticed that Olivia Newton-John was standing right in front of one of my paintings. I'm new to Los Angeles, and I'm going, wow, that's Olivia Newton-John. And we're just having a one-on-one conversation like I'm an equal to her. We live here in Los Angeles, and it's the entertainment capital of the world and certainly the creative center of the world. As a result of that, I've created a lot of paintings which celebrate the cultural history of Hollywood with famous icons of American pop culture. I did a painting of Django Reinhardt. He was the famous gypsy European jazz guitarist from the 1930s and 1940s. Anybody who plays guitar, that is his hero, because there's just nobody else like Django Reinhardt. I finished the painting, I took it in, and the gallery director said to me, dude, that's a great painting, but I don't know who the heck that is. Along comes Kim Campbell, Glenn Campbell's wife. She took one look at this painting, went, oh my God. And she ran back down the street, grabbed Glenn Campbell out of another store, took him up to the gallery and said, Glenn, look at that. And of course, that was it. He fell in love. That is his hero. Glenn Campbell is one of the greatest guitarists in the world ever. His hero is Django Reinhardt. So Glenn Campbell bought the painting. I've had a lot of artists that inspire me. I was at a show of Andrew Wyeth. When you see an Andrew Wyeth original painting, you realize he's really an artist's artist. They're wonderful compositions. His sense of light, of time and place are just outstanding, and it's very inspiring. Another artist is John Sargent. Although he was a portrait painter of great renown, he was also a wonderful impressionist painter who had great facilities to paint just about anything. His ability to capture a place and time was just outstanding. He would pride himself in painting a whole string of pearls with essentially a single brushstroke. I grew up in a city called Victoria in British Columbia. I lived 6 doors down from Emily Carr, and she is probably one of the greatest impressionist painters that ever lived. And certainly in the realm of women painters, Emily Carr inspired Georgia O'Keeffe, and here I'm literally 6 doors down from her studio. The impact of seeing her work completely floored me. Her paintings were just unbelievable. For the way an artist thinks and how an artist approaches his life, I turned to my mentor, Sid Barron, who became, over the years, what's considered a Canadian national treasure in the world of art and published art. He and I became friends when I was about 18, I think, at the time, when I first met Sid. And I went to meet him at his studio, and I went down the hallway to that studio door, and it's blank, glass window, rapped on the window, door opens, and this guy who looked like Art Carney from the Honeymooners looked at me and he said, huh, what do you want? And I said, well, my name is David Glover and I'm an artist and I really wanted to meet you and whatever. And he reached out and he grabbed me by the shirt and pulled me inside and said, get in here, close the door. And he said, now what was that again? At first he was a little shocked because nobody would ever come to his door. He was a recluse. But shortly thereafter we became fast friends and we became friends for years. And he really was my artistic mentor. He was not an artist who was telling me how to do things technically. It was really about philosophy, and it was about life experience. Sid prepared me for the rejection and sharing his life experience on what it's like as an artist to present your portfolio and constantly being rejected. And for me not to lose heart, expect to be rejected was what he would tell me. You make 10 presentations, you make 20 presentations, but eventually somebody will say yes and you'll be accepted. His guidance is what propelled me to pursue my career professionally.
昔々あるところに
One of the most poignant moments early in my career was I was invited to Tokyo to have a one-man show with an art dealer there known as Art Brilliant. And Art Brilliant was, certainly at the time, the largest art dealer in the world. I went to an exhibition where it was kind of beyond description. There was over 850 people. The pomp and circumstance they put on, the ceremony of having an artist there live and in person, to them was really something big. At that show, I was sold out that evening. It was just over 100 original paintings. I realized I had an awful lot of work to do because I signed an exclusive contract for Asia that went on for the next 17 years. Although it was very difficult to perform at such a high level for so many years, the result to me was that there really isn't anything that I can't do. Living in Southern California gives me the inspiration of light and atmosphere, but my broad, vivid landscapes that I create are from my memories of where I grew up in British Columbia. Those images live with you forever. When I want to create a stunning wilderness landscape or a mountainous lake, I go right back to when I was young. My studio is unique in that I have an eastern exposure. So in the morning I control my lighting through the shutters, and I'm able to direct the light onto the canvas area to essentially color correct, because I can get a very clean color. As the day progresses, I move the shutters because the sun is rising above and then sets into the west. Even when the sun is setting, I get a specific style or type of light that comes in through the windows. When I have one of my paintings sold, I never really know whether the same emotions and message that I'm trying to impart in this painting actually transcends to the collector. It's the human part of us that perceives what we see and what we feel as art, because we can go to that extra level, and there it becomes art. My inspiration will come from some emotional and visual impact, and then I will express it in my paints, in my mediums. I want people to see the remnants of the artist. I want them to see a piece of art. I'm telling a story, either it's a narrative story by what you see going on in the scene, or it's strictly an emotional story. It's a response that you have to a particular light effect, a view down a country road. You imagine what's at the end of that road or where it's leading you to, or it's nostalgic. It reminds you of when you were growing up, or it reminds you of an important time in your life. Maybe it was your first romance. You were in a setting just like you see in this painting. So it touches this on a very base level. Art is something that chooses you. Your ability to create in any kind of medium just comes innately, and it starts when you're very young. Certainly in my case it did. You feel this need to create all the time, no matter what you're doing. But it's not something that I think that you decide one day, you wake up and say, okay, let's go to school and be an artist. It has to come from within. Art is something that's always in your left ear telling you, yeah, it's time to paint. It's time to paint, David. You kind of follow the direction that all forces are leading you in. I have done other things in my life, but art is always the mainstay. It has been a constant in my life since I was 4 years old, and it's a constant today. Everything I do in my life revolves around creativity.
Folks, that was a film I made on David Lloyd Glover. You saw from working with Disney to setting records for art brilliance in Japan. Unbelievable artist. I want to show you some of his work right now. Take a look at this right there. Now look at that, ladies and gentlemen. That is David Lloyd Glover. Look at that. It is stunning. What is the name of that, Patty? I got to get a pair of
Rocky Shore.
Rocky Shores. I mean, now this is David Lloyd Glover. That's oil on board. It is just stunning. You know, retail is in many galleries, $4,200, $5,400. I'll tell you what, $750 to open. It's a beautiful David Lloyd Glover. It is just stunning. Look at that. The David Lloyd Glover. And I'm going to show you, I got 4 or 5, and I'm going to, we took pictures before to speed things up, and Matt's going to show you another one, and just call me. We'll work a deal. Do what now? Oh. Look at these David Lloyd Glovers. They're 4, 5, 7,000. I will sell them to you for a song. Just give me a call. Tell me which one you want. Look at that. There are people that can paint. There are people that paint great. And then there's David Lloyd Glover. He's better than the paint great. Look at that. Oh, look at that. You want to go there. That's what good art does. It puts you on a journey. And that's what David Lloyd Glover can do. That's what Jean-Claude Novaro can do with his glass. That's what the late Thomas Kincaid can do with his different pieces. That's Michael Schofield can do with a rich palette. Just call us. I have a smaller Novaro here that has 18 karat gold in it. Oh, look at that one. That is amazing. Yeah, and what does that say to open on that? Let's see. 650? Oh, that's a steal. All right. Look at those. Okay. I can't believe. Call me on the David Lloyd Glover. This is where Santa Claus lives. Right there, Wilson. You got to be a pretty special person to get there. You got to know Mrs. Claus. You got to be a friend of one of the elves. I mean, you can't just walk into Santa Claus's house. You haven't tried, have you, Wilson? No. Take a look at this. Thomas Kincaid, 3132, call me. On these Navaros, call me. Folks, I have 48 minutes left. All right, now, folks, call me. Whoever gets this Novaro, I am jealous. I cannot compete with customers. A coin dealer in Stockton, California, Bob Hallam, told me 32 years ago, never compete with your customers, and I never do. This is one of the greatest vases I have ever seen. From basically sand to this. He spins this like a bowl of goo at 2300 degrees. He puts these bubbles in there. If he's off just a tenth, and he showed me bubbles that he was off just a tenth of a millimeter on, and it ruins it. They grow funny, they cool funny. To create something this gorgeous, if you want to own one piece of glass, this is the piece to own. Look at this. Symphony of Dancing Bubbles. What does it say the price is on that? No, on this one? I think $795. One of the greatest Novaros I've ever seen in my life. If you can make this happen, please do. This will be valuable a decade from now, a quarter of a century from now, 100 years from now. This is the man that made glass glow at night. There's one guy that did it. His name is Jean-Claude Novaro. And I am going to move the only piece here that glows at night. And all you got to do is just open a window, open a drapery, let some sun come in on this, and Matt will show you what it looks like when you turn the lights off. And this is not even charged up, that picture. That's here with some lights on a chair here. I mean, it really glows. And you can get that. And what did I price this one at, Patty? I think I know. Is it this? 2,500 to open. On the reason Jean-Claude Novaro will live forever. He died in 2014, December 30th. But just like Magellan, just like Columbus, he did something nobody thought was possible. He got laughed at. They're not laughing anymore. You can visit some of his works in the Museum of Glass in, I mentioned it once tonight, Corning, New York, the Corning Museum of Glass. He's also in Ripley's, believe it or not, for the world's largest hand-spun, mouth-blown vase. And he had two hernia operations. Jean-Claude Novaro. But this one right here, folks, if you buy this one right here, the Symphony of Dancing Bubbles, 3129, and you're ever unhappy, just get in touch with me. I'll take it back so fast it will scare you. This is one of the greatest Novaro vases I have ever seen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this heavy yellow one right here so you can see this. Look at that. That's a museum piece. I have seen many, many Novaros. I saw them at his shop, at his house in Antibes. I've seen them when he's come on my show 4 or 5 times. We'd fly him to California. He was so amazing. I went to Antibes, took my whole family. This is one of the nicest vases I've ever seen. And so don't think I'm delusional, but someday, with the first guy to ever make glass glow, a symphony of dancing bubbles, will it sell for $250,000? I don't know. But right now I know at the price I have this up for, $2,795, you can't go wrong. If you don't love it, call me. You'll love it. You'll look at that, you'll go, there is no way on earth somebody can mouth blow, hand spun this, let it dry over the next 8 months, cool down to be that perfect. That's 1 in a million. I hope you take me up on it. Or the fluorescent angel. Go online. People are selling anything fluorescent by Jean-Claude Novaro. They want $40,000 and $50,000 for little fluorescent sculptures. I got this priced very reasonably. I got everything priced reasonably. Whether it's Thomas Kincaid, David Lloyd Glover, Gregory Wilhelmy, the last Michael Schofield. I got right here, look at this, Casey's Golden Pheasant, where you can also get fire water. All right, I am going to take this down gently and put fire water up. Now I don't want you to get hurt. I'm just going to move this right here. Oh. Take a look at that. This is Gregory Wilhelmy. He paints forgotten America. He paints towns where a big mine comes in to mine silver, zinc, or phosphate, and the town booms for 25 years and they close the mine down, and slowly everybody leaves, the shops close. Hand embellished by artist, Chappell, edition 1 of only 5. Casey's Golden Pheasant. It's a bucket of blood saloon on the south side of Billings, Montana, circa 1950. Casey's original neon sign is depicted, 1935. That's depicting the sign as it was in 1935. Look at that. It is hand signed, hand numbered, hand embellished by the artist. And this is 3095. Man, I don't even remember we had a price for it, but that is a dream of a piece. Look at that. You frame that, you put it in a hallway, you got something of value. Gregory Wilhelmy is a museum artist. They have shows for him at the Nicolaisen Museum. They have him at the South Dakota Museum of Art. He was born in Billings, Montana, Roundup, Montana, near Billings. Same place. One of the most famous other people from Billings was Evel Knievel. His real name was Robert Crane Knievel. So call me, talk to me. I'm lonely. Patty, I'm lonely. Look at this table of glass here, folks. And whether you buy anything or not, camera 2, I said my piece on it, but this is the real goods. There are other networks that sell art or this or that. A lot of tchotchke stuff. You know what I'm saying, Wilson? This ain't tchotchke. This is from one of the greatest artists that ever lived and breathed and died, Jean-Claude Novaro. 1,000 years from now, if we're still a planet with people, they're going to be talking about the great work of Jean-Claude Novaro, making glass glow at night, something nobody else had ever been able to do. I have that glow-in-the-dark angel there. I have the Symphony of Dancing Bubbles. I have Thomas Kincaid's. I have Michael Schofield. Tell me what you want. Look at that. Look at those. Look at that blue. Patty, that is perfect. That's a 10-10. That's as good as it gets. There is no flaw to be had in that one right there, Wilson. You're on it. That is a perfect dancing bubble. A style that Jean-Claude Novaro invented. A style that people like Frank Sinatra bought. John Renew bought. He got the highest award a French artist can get. Call. Tell me what I can do for you. And I want to thank you. Here is Morocco with the King of Morocco. Jean-Claude Novaro, they have ads. Let me just show you this from Morocco. Let me just show you something right here. Give me 1 second. And once again, this is circa 1990. All right, 1, 2, the Calypso, race car drivers, sailors. It's right here. Passion of the arts. Look at this. If you went to Monaco, you would have bought this magazine. And then there's, I think, the late Prince Rainier the third, but you come over here and you see this story on Jean-Claude Novaro and the amazing things he can do with glass. I'm offering one of the world's great, you know, and I like I said, I love Dale Jahouli's work. This is so rare. I got Thomas Kincaid. Hey, Patty, what do we have the price? This is so cool. 2134. That's 18 karat gold in a mouth-blown, hand-spun Jean-Claude Novaro. Look at that. Look at the green at the bottom. Look at that. Matt, we have graphics. I believe it's 2134. 2139. This is so cool. Look at that. Do I have the right number? Okay. It was made in 2004, and we don't have the right number. What is it? 3102. Look at that. That's gold that didn't vaporize at 2200 degrees. Look at that. Oh, retail in any Novaro, but look at that. With the gold in glass, something he was doing, probably be 12,500, 13,000. Oh, I can't. I know I. Okay. Oh, it's got all that gold in it. 1,800 to open. $100 increments. Angel 2,500. It's fluorescent. Dancing Bubbles $2,795. Call me. Schofield. Right. I know, I can sense it. Someone's thinking about this one. You can't go wrong with this. This is one of the greatest Novaros. And now I am prejudiced in the sense I think he is one of the greatest artists. Every one I had, I sold. My own that I would always offer them to customers. I'm talking 10, 12 years ago, 15. Before I'd ever buy it, I'd offer it to the customer, and that blue one right there, that Symphony of Dancing Bubbles, no matter where you put it, it's perfect. That is a top-notch glass maker. And I put this $2,795. You can't go wrong. You know, maybe we can work. If you love it, you can't afford it, maybe we can take half now. We'll work a deal with you, whatever. Matt and Jack and Ashley say fine too. That fluorescent angel, unbelievable to have a fluorescent angel. And I priced it so cheap compared to any reasonable, anybody, anywhere. I mean, he is the guy that invented that. Folks, I hope you're out there, and I thank you. I don't know what else to show you. I got some Thomas Kincaid, some Gregory Wilhelmi, this Michael Schofield. Let me show you this Michael Schofield, because it is one heck of a piece. Michael Schofield is 75 or 76 years old. He has won about every award you could think of. This is 3116. Love that coloring. Look at that. And we'll take you on a journey into this piece. The reds, the greens, those blue strips on the back of trees was one of his inventions. And as Wes Hunting, the glassmaker, once told me, you think you're inventing it, you want to show it off to your friends, you take it to an art show, a glass show, and 6 months later, everything you told them how to do, they're doing in their pieces and claiming it's theirs. Well, Michael Schofield is unbelievable. Look at that. There's something hauntingly beautiful about this piece. It's calm but hyper at the same time, Wilson. Gentle but brutal. That's beautiful. Call me. I'm lonely, Patty. Nobody's watching me. Matt, how many people are watching me only on the internet? And if the number is less than 3, don't tell me, because I know my mom's watching. So that means, do I have one other person? Let's see. All right, I'll tell you what I can do, Patty. It's so quiet. I'm going to call me up. Pick something you like, folks. I'm going to see if I can make a deal happen. And I thank you. It's unbelievable. Look at this. Look at this dancing bubble right here. Folks, when you watch Jean-Claude Novaro make glass, I didn't believe it till I saw him do it. And then he let me try. I couldn't make any glass. You know, you're blowing through this, they call it a cane. It's wrapped in plastic and other stuff so you don't burn every part of your body, and you're blowing into it slowly, and you blow just a little too hard, pop. Or it turns out crazy. And I asked Jean-Claude Novaro, Wilson, I said, so when you, this is one of the first questions I ask him. See, I watch you blow glass. I say, you always blow in. I say, what happens if you forget and go, take a breath? He goes, oh, no. He goes, you up there, yeah, that'd kill you. Look at this. One of the hardest professions. Call me. And I'll tell you what, I have given you the best prices anybody can, but maybe I can make you a package deal with a museum piece, the only fluorescent angel I have, the greatest dancing bubble. Call me. Just call me. Right now, a Schofield, a Wilhelmi, a Thomas Kincaid. Just call. And I thank you. And for those of you watching me on DirecTV, we are not going to be on Wednesday night. Jack will be on the Tuesday, Thursday, and Monday, but the Wednesday night Art and Coin show is taking a hiatus until the end of summer, early September. So I just want you to know that. And boy, look at those Novaros. I'm proud to have a show like this. I know how long his first publicist, his first guy that brought Novaro to the United States, how long he had that blue one. So I thank you. And let me show you another Thomas Kincaid. Tell you what I'm going to do. Let me see this. Let me see if I can't make a gentle Chappell. We used to have a rat terrier named Rodney, and they were getting ready to put him under or something, and we adopted him. He was a little rat terrier. It was a lot of fun, but he had a bad habit, Wilson. People he didn't know, if they moved too fast, he'd bite them in their ankle. Little guy. We got him over that, but I remember we had 2 or 3 people over and they all got bit. I'm going, my dog doesn't bite. And they go, what the heck is this? He was just nibbling you. He just wanted to make sure you're real. So take a look at this Thomas Kincaid. This right here is very rare. It's number 673 of 900. It's signed and numbered on paper. It's old Potterfield gift shop right there. Retail is like $1 billion. I don't know how much it is, but it's a lot. I priced this so cheap. It comes with a certificate, and on the certificate it says that Thomas Kincaid's actual DNA is in the ink he used to sign his name. It's called the DNA Authenticity System. So that's how you guarantee your Thomas Kincaid is real. Call me. I will work you deals. Just let me know. Here is a David Lloyd Glover that is second to none. The Autumn Country Lane. Done, let's see, 2022. Acrylic. Let's see if I can do it. I think I can. Watch this, Patty. Young children, don't try this at home. You see that, Patty? Look at that. Careful, ain't the... You were right to be careful. I am going to put it right here, as I have just made a bigger fool of myself than people are going, don't turn that man loose for more than 20 minutes. All right. Call. Last minute specials. Gregory Wilhelmi has won all kinds of awards. Michael Schofield is in the $1 billion Arm & Hammer collection. Jean-Claude Novaro is in the Corning Museum of Glass. He is in 3 glass museums in France. He's in the Monte Carlo Museum. He is in the Dubai Museum of Glass, some of the most expensive glass ever produced. Jean-Claude Novaro is in that museum. He worked for the royal family for a year or two in Dubai making glass that they would give as presents, and some of them would be $400,000 and $500,000. So just call me. I am running out of time. I got 23 minutes, and I thank you for putting up with me. And this is, we will not be on DirecTV. There is no Wednesday Night Art Show next week. But Jack is here Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, doing his shows. Me, I'm not sure. I think I'm going to become homeless, Wilson. But I know how to work the system, you know. I can live cheap. And Susan might even make me a yard boy. Leaves, weeds, snow, see them go, call Barry Chappell. And then there's also my future new business that I've thought about almost nonstop. Exercising problem dogs that have the demon in them. But my ex-wife, Jennifer, said, you're missing the hardest part. And I go, what's the hardest part? Cats. Everybody used to believe cats were possessed by the devil. So I got to exercise a cat. It's possible, Wilson, don't you think? We're living in 2400, AD, or... Well, it's not 24, it's 2024. Call me. I'll work you a combo. A Tommy K. A Michael Schofield. A Jean-Claude Novaro. A David Lloyd Glover. That brings up questions, Matt. Matt, you're not, have you ever been or are a member of the Communist Party? They changed the password on Matt. That's mean, Matt. It all depends what your password was. Well, folks, thank you. Tell me what I can do to make one. I got the best of the best here. And, tell you what, let me find something that I... Patty, using all, not 99%, using all, 100% of all of the knowledge at your command, of all these items you've seen tonight, which one, if you were going to really focus in on one, camera 2. It was, Patty came up with a brilliant idea. Call in, and I will see if I can, and I have cut to the bone, I have, but I got to make some sales. Call in for some secret off-air pricing on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Novaro, 7 Navaros we have left, on the Michael Schofield, on the Thomas Kincaids, on the Gregory Wilhelm's. Call in for secret off-the-air prices. And I am just going to let Wilson, I'm unchaining you. Go nuts, panning everything in this studio. Pick, what's your favorite item tonight, Wilson? Wilson is slowly going to his favorite item. You're telling me that's a diamond in the rough that I did not spend enough time on. You could be right. That is a David Lloyd Glover. That is oil on panel. Acrylic on panel. It's unbelievable. The Thomas Kincaids, folks. Do you remember that craze about 10, 15 years ago to get a Thomas Kincade, Wilson? Lamppost Publishing, and people would be just going crazy. They had the Thomas Kincade Christmas sets. They had everything. And I'm saving you like 98 cents on the dollar, and call me. But for you on DirecTV, we will not have a Wednesday night art show till beginning of September. Ashley's working some phones. Matt, does she have any requests? Anything people are close to? Anything that they're going, Barry? We've made that poor man sweat enough, and we're down to 15 minutes of airtime left. 17 minutes. Do you think that worked? I watched the Flintstones a lot. Wilson, do you think those sundial watches that Fred and Barney have, do you think they would really work? You think they would? I mean, you get in the shadow and you're going to have some trouble. You're going to be late. Yeah. I got comps on Thomas Kincaids for 9, 10, 12 grand. Same ones I have here that I'll sell to you for $800. It's unbelievable. Any request, off-air prices. Patty's here, Giuliani's here. New girl, what's your name again? Say it again. Priscilla. Yes. Like Presley. Priscilla. Is Presley really your last name? Unbelievable. Hey, I just wonder. Now, we better DNA test her. Yeah, you could be heir to Elvis's, you could be Priscilla Presley's twin unknown sister. Yeah, all right. that she was put in a time capsule. I don't know. Tell me what you want me to show you. I don't. Thinking what else? I mean, I have shown. All right. I know Melvin was very curious. I was told about, now come to me, my little dancing bubble. I was told that Melvin was very curious about this. And I am going to gently, I mean so gently, it's scary, move the museum grade piece, the fluorescent angel, this piece right here. This is why Jean-Claude Novaro had so many hernia surgeries. Look at this. Can you imagine holding this 7 feet away on a cane at 2300 degrees, 3128. And I think one of these pieces is one of the earliest Jean-Claude Novaros I had seen in a long time, so I am going to very carefully walk over here. I think it might have been this piece. No, that's 2001 or 7. One of these was 1990s. Might be this one. No, 2004. So that leaves, okay. Let me see the angel. 2005. All right, it's got to be this big heavy one, right, Patty? All right. Patty, tell me. No, this is 2007. I saw one of these is 1991 or 92. All right, dancing bubble. 2003 or 5 or something. Maybe we already sold it. Yeah, we already sold it. Never mind. Okay. Folks, I want to thank you again. I'm just curious if anybody's watching. I'm going to walk over here. Right here. This is Park West, done in 2006, the Seine River. It's got a certificate of authenticity. It's got a registration number. Hey, Patty, did you show a price on BC 1463? BC 1463. I'm curious because this is a Park West artist, And what I am going to do without breaking anything in the studio, I am going to move the Schofield away. I am going to move the Thomas Kincaid away and put it right, gently. Yeah, I know, Wilson, I'm doing the work of 3 people tonight. Larry, Moe, and Curly. All right. Here is a Park West cert. Take a look at this. You see this Park West cert? I am going to swing this painting around, and it is a certificate of authenticity. It is entitled The Seine, as in the Seine River that runs through Paris. This is Alexander Chen, The Seine, 2006. Serigraphing, colors on paper, signed in pencil, lower right and numbered, from an artist proof edition of 250, signed by Morris Shapiro of Park West Galleries. You take a cruise, they're going to tell you it's low 3,500, high 4,200. Let's just see if anybody, it's framed. I don't know what the shipping cost is, but Patty, you got a $4,000 Park West artist with a certificate from Morris Shapiro, one of their main authenticators. So, and this is item number Matt BC 1463. I just want to see if anybody's left. Retail, call it 3,800. 200 to open, $100 increments. I want to see if anybody's left. It's framed, it's beautiful, it's Alexander Chen, a very famous Park West artist. What they do is you take a Park West art cruise, they give you 3 shots of liquor, and before you know it, you're going, I'll take that, I'll bid 12,000. I was amazed, Wilson, because I put everything on my flight from Oakland back to Long Beach. I put everything on the conveyor belt, you know, for TSA, put my suitcase on it. And I had enough cash in my hand and 3 strips of nicotine gum, but enough cash to pay my long-term parking at Long Beach when I get there. So I took my belt off, I took my shoes off, and I put it all on with my case on top through TSA. It comes out the other end, I take my case out, I put my shoes back on, put my belt on, I can't find the cash. I'm going, oh boy, because that's exactly what I need to get my car out of long-term parking. And I know if I call my sister and say, hey, Ann, I know you just gave me the money for long-term parking. I lost it. I didn't gamble. I don't do anything. It just disappeared. They're not going to believe me. The TSA played it back. They saw me put this, take my belt off, my shoes off, put it on the conveyor belt, and pick it up on the other end. And they're mystified. And they're showing this to me. Another lady walks over to me and goes, I'll bet you it's in your shoe. Going, damn, she was right. Ever since a little kid, I put my money in the shirt, in my shoes. Emergency averted. What? We have the open for 200. Thank you. Looking for 3. This is an amazing. Albert Chen. Look at that. The Seine River runs through Paris, as I'm sure you know, Wilson. You're a Paris connoisseur. Not to get mixed up with the Paris sewers, where a lot of people hid during World War II. 200, looking for 300. 200 going once. 200 going twice. Fair. And final warning. All in. All said. Sold. And this is not that heavy. Thank you, Patty. Right here, Alexander Chen, Moonlight Bay, BC 1461. Right here, Morris Shapiro, authenticity by him. This is rare. Park West is like 4,800 on a ship. Take a look at this. BC 1461. Wilson, you look young, you act young, so it hadn't hit you that you're getting old, right? It hits me every time I see myself. I go, damn, I'm that old. And it was Art Garabedian who died of COVID, who used to be a shopping. It started at started $200 to open, $100 increments. You got a $4,500 piece right here. $200 to open, $100 increments once we get the open. Art Garabedian said to me, Barry, do you know why there are so many guys that make a fool out of themselves, don't know they are, when they do it, that they think, how did he put it, that they are dirty old men because they go up to women that are a lot younger. And he said the reason is in a guy's mind's eye, he's always 25, 27. He does not know he's 50. Like when I see myself in the mirror, I still have black hair. I'm still 32, and that's what the late Art Garabedian used to say. It's 200 to open. I have 3 minutes left. I have some very special off-air prices on the Navaros. Feel free to give me a call, give Ashley a call, give the phone bank a call. Oh, David Lloyd Glovers, we have some of the greatest. Call for those too. And I will see you on the flip side of the summer. Patty loves the one on the screen right now. Well, the other one, the Chen. Yeah, 200 to open on a frame Chen. $90 seconds. Well, folks, real fast, Matt, if they want to get in on this, we'll go back to the live shot if we could, camera. This is available, 200 to open. Call us. Hey, and if you saw Novaro you want, call the phone bank, call Ashley, call customer service. Hey, I love you guys. I'm going to see you guys on the flip side of the summer on DirecTV. Hey, you take care, be safe. It's a crazy world out there. Every day I see something I'm going, did that just really happen? And it's, yeah, it did. Do you see that now and then, Wilson? Yes. Oh, I saw some guy yelling, screaming the other day, and it's like, I don't even know you. Why are you mad? Don't ask that question. Hey, we do love you, and Buford, don't kick the dog, because I'm going to be back in September, and I'll get you, Buford. You've kicked that dog. Don't you even think about it. And if you ever have any questions, bchap2006, that's my email. I should be around somewhere this summer. And that's Wilson. Lose your anger to Tom Hanks, Wilson. Tom Hanks tried to save you. You floated away. Hey, we love you. God bless you. See you later. Bye.